What is up, everybody? It is your boys, Cam and T, back at it again with another episode of the Cam and T podcast, man. Listen, if you're listening to this on YouTube, also as well, Spotify, whatever, iTunes, whatever, go ahead and hit that like. Go ahead and hit that 5 stars, man. Continue to comment and continue to give us and show us love on social media. Follow us on Twitter and also as well Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Y'all know the vibes. I am your co-host, Tony T. Time West, and we got my brother from another mother, Cam. Happy New Year's, brother. Happy holidays, brother. How are you doing?
Happy New Year, bro. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. Hanging in there, bro. I'm doing good, man. I'm ready for 2025. It's gonna be a good year, man. You feel me? It's gonna be a
For
really
sure.
good year. You know what I'm saying? How about you though, man? How was your holidays?
Man, good, bro. Had a really good holidays, man. Got to spend time with family. You know what I'm saying? I miss doing this though for sure. Like I miss just being on here chopping it up, but definitely just happy to be back and happy to spend time with my family during the holidays too as well, bringing in the new year and stuff like that. So it was really good. Can't complain. Just glad to be back with my boy, talking sports, getting into it, having a good time. Oh, Cam, one more thing. We got to talk about that Fox Sports thing just a little bit at the end.
Oh no.
That's a mess. That's a mess. I forgot about that. We'll talk about it later on, though.
Too. Oh man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. But anyway, we got a good show for y'all tonight, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for everything y'all do for us, man. 2025, me and Cam was just talking. We going up 2025, y'all. So y'all definitely got to tune in and stay locked in with us. We're gonna be going crazy in 2025, man. So just stick with us. We're gonna have a lot of content coming for y'all, man. It's gonna be fun. I just can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait, bro. I can't wait for 2025 and everything we got in store for y'all. But let's go ahead and jump into pretty much what we're gonna be talking about tonight. A lot going on. We missed out the last 3 weeks, Cam, essentially. We done missed out on the last 2 to 3 weeks of information. So there's a lot that done happened. College football playoffs, we'll talk about a little bit. Some college coaches got let go. We'll talk about that. Obviously today was, or yesterday and today really has been low-key Black Monday and Tuesday in the NFL. Teams have made the playoffs. I think your boy Lamar has made a really good chance to be a 3-time MVP. We'll talk about that. I think he has a really good shot at doing that as well. And we're just gonna talk about a lot. Tonight's gonna be, you know how me and Cam get on here and say it's gonna be a short one. Nah, it's not gonna be a short one. It's gonna be a long one tonight, guys. Y'all just hang in there with us. It's gonna be a long one. It's probably gonna be an hour and 25er. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what it is. But just hang in there. We're gonna have fun like we always do. Shout out to our guy AB. He already in the chat going crazy. But again, man, let's jump into it tonight. We actually gonna start off local, Cam. Let's start off with Clemson. Okay. Clemson fires Wes Goodwin after having their defense ranked, I think 64th. I think the lowest Clemson has had since like before what's his name got there. This was the lowest they had before Brent Venables got there, like since Kevin Steele was there. So like we're talking like the last 11 to 12 years, Clemson defense hadn't been as bad as it was this past year. Wes Goodwin gets fired. I mean, me and you kind of already knew like a week before it really got announced that he was fired. We already everybody in Clemson kind of already knew what it was. But Wes Goodwin is moving on, and Dabo is still working in the portal as well. Dabo's going after another player that was a former 5-star, Jeremiah Alexander. He's actually on campus as we speak, with no D coordinator. So I don't know how that's going to work. But I feel like the guys that go to Clemson, they don't go to Clemson for a coordinator anyway. They go for Dabo. I mean, let's just be real. But again, Wes Goodwin's fired. You know me and you was excited about that, but I'll let you go first. What was your personal opinion on that whole thing happening there?
It was time. You know what I'm saying? I think we saw it. We called it out like in the first year of Wes Goodwin, that he wasn't a good DC. We knew. Obviously, you want to give coaches and coordinators, you want to give them a little time to adjust and to get a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So I was fine with the first year, even though I didn't think we were good. I was fine with the first year being like a growing pain. Last year, he kind of turned things around a little bit. He was a lot better. But there were still some things that we noticed that was like, you know, this kind of wouldn't happen under Brent. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the day, our defense, I mean, last year our offense was the problem. You know what I'm saying? But this year, our defense was the problem, and that's never, ever, ever really been an issue in Clemson in the Dabo Swinney era, outside of the first couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, defense has always been Clemson's bread and butter for at least the last 10 years. At least the last 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Offense was just a plus, but that defense, at the end of the day, it didn't matter who we was going up against. You knew that defense was going to do their job. You know what I'm saying? And this year, unfortunately, we knew every single week that the defense was going to struggle. We said it on this podcast every single week. If Clemson goes up against a quarterback that's a little bit, that's just slightly mobile, there's a chance that they're going to lose the game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up like that. If the other team has a good rushing attack, there's a chance that Clemson was going to lose the game. Let me read some statistics for you. See?
Yep, go ahead.
I had piled this together, matter of fact, the other day, and I want you to understand the significance of how bad Clemson's defense actually was, okay? So, rush defense ranks, all right, in the last couple of years for Clemson. This is the last 8 years, okay? So, in 2017, Clemson gave up 1,608 yards on the ground, okay? 2018, Clemson gave up 1,444 yards on the ground. 2019, they gave up 1,741. 2020, they gave up 1,353. 2021, they gave up 1,252. And then enter the Wes Goodwin era right here in 2022. They gave up 1,440 yards. Then they gave up 1,490 yards. And then this year, they gave up 2,249 yards. That's just rushing on defense.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad. 2,000 yards on the ground. And that's something that Clemson hasn't done. I don't know when the last time Clemson has done that, if they've ever done that, to be completely honest with you. But the bottom line is that rush defense was terrible. I think Wes Goodwin, Clemson's defense has way too much talent, especially across that front seven. And really at this point across the back seven too, to where it doesn't make sense that that our defense is this bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think Dabo made the right decision. You know, I'm actually proud of Dabo. I'm glad that he's actually
standing on business.
Yeah, he don't waste no time because and the thing about Wes is that me and you both said it too before, is that we've seen Dabo call. We don't see Dabo talk about his coordinators that often. We've seen him call out Wes Goodwin at halftime twice.
Yeah, publicly. Like that Texas game told me everything I need to know. I was like,
that was everything.
Yeah, he's gone, bro.
Because you could see if you get called, like, again, this is Dabo Swinney we're talking about, somebody who believes in his coaches, believes in his players, somebody who don't ever rarely throws people under the bus, I should say.
Yep.
But the fact that he did it to you twice, he'll get you once, but he do it twice, you're out of here. And that's exactly what happened to Wes.
He did the same thing with Streeter too. He did the same thing with Streeter the year he fired him. He called him out once, and then he did it one more time, and he was gone.
And that was it. Yeah. That was it. When they call you, if Dabo call you out, because once again, he don't do that often. So if he call you out, he is mad. And I think he made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Wes Goodwin, he'll go be an analyst for somebody else. I'm sure he'll probably find his way around to be another DC for another team, but that's another team's problem. Yeah. Dabo Swinney has to get this DC hire right, though, because in 2025, and I'm sure me and you will talk about this later, Clemson should be a team to actually look out for, straight up like that.
Well, I mean, we can jump into it right now, honestly, because I'm 100% with you. I think Clemson made the right thing. I think they did the right thing. You had to fire him after the season he had, bro. You had to, man. It was terrible, bro. You had to let him go. This is Clemson football, man. This ain't Clemson from 15 years ago. We were just little old Clemson. Clemson is a brand now. Clemson is a household name now. So, yeah, that wasn't going to fly. So we can actually just jump right into that right now. I'm not going to lie, man. If Clemson gets this DC hire right, I think they're national championship contenders, Chad. I'm not going to lie. And again, I want to be kind of cautious with putting too much, expectations on this team. But when you look at this team, Cam, they're only losing R.J. Mickens, Barrett Carter, Marcus Tate, and Jake Brennerstool. That's it. Those are the only 4 contributors that they're losing. And Phil Maffa. And you could argue the last month he wasn't really no contributor.
With no contributor.
Yeah. So I will halfway count him. He's a good running back, but he wasn't even no contributor. You know what I'm saying? The last half of the season, essentially.
Right.
So you're losing those guys, and Marcus Tate was more like a rotational piece anyway. Clemson's pretty much returning just about, and they've gotten better at edge now with the addition of Will Helt and with the addition of Tristan Smith on the outside at wide receiver.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you the truth. With Cade Klubnik definitely coming back, Antonio Williams definitely coming back, in my personal opinion, anything less than getting at least one playoff win is a failure. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, Chad. I'm going straight to it. If Clemson gets the DC hire right, they need to win at least one playoff game for me to be like, okay, we at least won a game in the playoffs. It's not going to be the same. If they keep on with the track of pace they're doing right now, Clemson needs to win at least. My expectations this year was go 9-3, 10-2, get to the playoffs. And we did that for the most part. We lost South Carolina in the process, but we did pretty much meet my expectation of what I thought. This next year, though, if they get the DC hire right, that's going to be the main thing, Kim. They got to get that right. If they get that right, I think Clemson's 11-1, 10-2. At worst, I would say 11-1, honestly. LSU at home really doesn't scare me like that. I know that they're always going to have a decent team. I think Clemson's better than LSU at this moment. I don't think you would disagree with me at all, especially at home. They should win that game. Clemson's schedule is a little tough, but I think 11-1, 10-2 in Charlotte in the playoffs is what the goal should be. I think Clemson's going to be a national championship contender with Cade Klubnik coming back, the 3 wideouts, Antonio Williams, TJ Moore, and also as well Wesco. They're going to be loaded, bro. Defensive lines all back. I mean, it's going to be – we don't even know what's going to happen with DeMontre Capehart. He ain't said he going to the league yet. So he might be back next year.
Oh, look, if DeMonte Capehart decide that he want to come back and run this thing back, because Blake Miller decided he was going to come back, and I was actually really surprised about that.
I was a little shocked because
really surprised.
He was getting like 3rd, 2nd round grades. That's why I was like, "Ooh, he coming back!" Like I'm a little shocked.
He was a pretty good tackle prospect, so I was actually really surprised he decided to come back. But good for him, because it's if he has a good year next year, he could very well be a first round pick.
Probably,
you know what I'm saying?
Probably top 10 pick, probably.
Yeah, very well could be as a tackle. So, and in addition to that, Clemson has we got 2 4-star running backs coming in. I know that Gideon Davidson kid is supposed to be special. Mm-hmm. Jay Haynes, hopefully, the ACL situation is all good. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's back as a primary contributor. The tight end room looks outstanding. I know we've said this for like the last 2 years now, but the tight end room looks just as good as it. I don't think it's going to be much fall off there, because Olsen Pat Henry proved to be a really good player. He even started taking snaps from Brennerstool, who's going to be a top NFL tight end taken in the draft. And then you got Sapp behind him, as well as there's another kid too in that tight end room. So, I mean, the whole Clemson looks good on paper next year.
On paper, yeah.
They look good. It just depends on, are we going to be the Clemson that was running up the score on App State, the Clemson that was resilient against SMU, the Clemson that actually played very well against Texas in the second half, or are we going to be the Clemson that laid a goose egg on Georgia and and laid down at home against Louisville? That's what I'm worried about. Which Clemson are we going to see? And hopefully with this DC hire, it doesn't even matter, because if the defense is doing their job, we just got to get out there and
because, bro, think about it. If Clemson's defense was even like above average this year, they're probably 10-2, or maybe even 11-1. Honestly,
I agree. I think that Georgia loss was happening either way.
Yeah,
and I think that Louisville should have been a win. I think the SMU game really should have been a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, it was, into Clemson defense, it was trending that way until Wes Goodwin pissed down his leg.
That's what I'm saying.
Clemson was blowing them out like 31-14 in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. So and the Pitt game, same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Pitt game shouldn't have happened like that. The South Carolina game, Even though the score didn't look the way that it looked, Lenore Sellers was running all over us. We just like you said, if Dabo Swinney gets that hire right, bro, man, I don't know. It's gonna be looking pretty good in 2025 for Clemson. Hopefully, bro.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Now,
Yes,
let's talk a little bit about some of these college football playoff games. Let's talk about the games coming up here.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, Cam. Is anybody beating Ohio State?
No.
I don't see it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see it. Ohio State, the way they're playing right now, bro, they're like on another level. I mean, you know how me and you have been saying, like, we don't see no elite team this year. Like, we don't see no team that's above the, like, you know, me and you have been talking about that for weeks. Like, we don't see a team that's just miles above everybody. No, Ohio State is that team. Since the Michigan loss, they turned into a completely different team, bro.
Yeah.
And to me, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I think the only team that can slow them down is Notre Dame. But I don't even think they could beat them, to be quite frankly honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think Ohio State I think it's their national championship to lose at this point, bro. I could be wrong.
For sure. Yeah.
But Ohio State, the way they're running like a clean engine right now, I just don't see it, man. I don't see anybody that's going to beat them right now, bro. In my personal opinion. What do you think, though?
Yeah, I agree. I think when we was looking at the playoffs, you remember before the season even started, bro, me and you both said, we was like, okay, the two best teams, Georgia and Ohio State on paper. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we knew the talent. The talent is always going to be there. We knew that. You know what I'm saying? And I think we called out Oregon too. We was like, Oregon looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of, we were mostly right, but I was actually really surprised that Ohio State took Oregon to the woodshed the way they did.
Yeah.
And that was in the Rose Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, it was in the Rose Bowl. Yep.
That's pretty huge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a big deal for Ohio State. And so I definitely think they got Texas upcoming in the Cotton Bowl, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's gonna be an insane game. I think Texas. I'm picking Ohio State to win for sure, but I think Texas, they're a little shaky, man. There's something about Texas that worries me. Like, it's like against Clemson, again, they scored 38, but imagine if Clemson just had an average defense, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they kind of worried me a little bit. Like, if Clemson's run defense wasn't as abysmal as it was, I don't think because Texas didn't really do anything through the air. If we're being completely honest,
no.
You know what I'm saying? Most of their damage, actually, really all of their damage came on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at the game against Arizona State, it took some really good late game heroics by Quinn Ewers and that tight end that really changed that game for them. And what's my boy name? Makuba from Clemson, always making clutch plays for them. But I mean, it's Texas. They keep escaping at this point. They're getting lucky. You know what I'm saying? They're lucky they don't have to play Georgia. They're lucky that that they ran into a really bad run defense against Clemson. They're lucky that Arizona State didn't really have a lot going for them.
And Arizona State about beat them too.
And Arizona State had about beat them. I mean, think about it. If Arizona State's top receiver was there during the game, you never know what could have happened. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Ohio State is a much more talented team than every other team in the field, probably combined.
Yeah.
And the best player in college football is a 19-year-old freshman named Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I mean, he's
incredible, man.
He is incredible. Incredible, bro. And I'm actually, like, earlier in the season when I saw him, I was like, yeah, he looks good, but he don't look like he be playing at a really high level. He looked great. And he had a great year. But I didn't really see what I saw against Oregon. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this dude, he a different animal. What they was saying about him, yeah, the hype is 1,000% real. He's almost at the point where I'm like, look, bro, you might have to decide on whether or not you even want to play the next 2 years.
Come on now.
That brother is special. I think, matter of fact, just not to change the subject, but I think we need to change the rules. 20 years old, you can go to the NFL, bro.
I ain't mad at it. Some people go to the NFL at 20.
Some already do.
Tremaine Edmonds that play linebacker. Who he play linebacker for now? Is it the Bears? Is he with the Bears? He was with the Bears. I know for a fact.
He not with the Bills?
He was with the Bills too. He was with the Bills originally. Then he went to the Bears. He was 20 when he got drafted.
Braylon Allen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Braylon Allen
got drafted at the age of 20. But yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Jeremiah Smith don't need to play. In my opinion, bro, I done seen enough. That dude's ready for the NFL tonight.
Yeah, bro.
Like he ain't gotta wait no longer, bro. Like that dude's ready, bro. Like we ain't gotta like do this whole pony show for the next 2 years. He ready to go to play the league, bro. Like yeah, like he ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm with you 100%. But yeah, I'm with you. Texas, I don't really trust them like that. I'm kind of with you. I think they're too skimpy, man. They let Clemson hang around. Honestly, if they get the targeting call, they probably lose to Arizona State. I think Ohio State's going to blow them out. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. I think it's blowout brigade on the way, bro. I think we getting blowout city on Friday night. Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State. I'm taking Ohio State. And I said this after the Michigan game, Cam. Everybody was calling me crazy. I said, bro, I still think Ohio State is going to potentially win a title. They have a Michigan problem. Michigan is built perfectly to beat them. And I think they done kind of got a little bit of mind control of them too as well, because they haven't won in 4 or 5 years now, whatever it is. 4 years now, I think, they haven't beat them. So I think it's that, and I think Michigan is built in the trenches. They're tough in the trenches. They're just a tough team up there up front and on both sides of the ball. And I think that's just not really what Ohio State is good at. Now they're playing good at it, but originally throughout the season they haven't. Because there was even games like Nebraska where Ohio State was kind of getting moved around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Against Nebraska and stuff like that. Nebraska about got them earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? So again, bro, but yeah, Ohio State is absolutely on fire. And yeah, like I said, and Malik said in the comments, if Texas cornerbacks was getting cooked by like TJ Moore and Wesco was kind of cooking them too, honestly, Antonio, imagine what Ohio State's gonna do to them. Like Jeremiah Smith and Abuka, them boys gonna be putting them boys on flat screen TVs, man. It's over with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of good, bro. I got Ohio State winning that game. Now, I do want to talk about an old rivalry, and this game more so for the northeastern part of the country. Penn State and Notre Dame, you know, on Thursday night. Or is that Friday? No, yeah, on Thursday night. They play on Thursday night.
Oh, it's Thursday?
That's going to be a physical game, too. That's going to be a real physical game between two physical teams. Cam, what do you think about those two teams and what they done did in the playoffs so far? What's your take on them?
I'm very, 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 very impressed with Notre Dame.
Same.
Straight up like that. I'm very impressed with them. I think me and you talked about it all throughout the season. Ever since that Northern Illinois loss, which is absolutely embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've really turned that corner, man, and they look like one of the best teams in college football, straight up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if they're sitting in a national championship game, opposite of Ohio State, to be completely honest with you.
Yep.
Because I think they're a really good team, man. And then Penn State, on the other hand, I think we all kind of knew that they were going to beat Boise State last week anyway. Yeah. They took care of business. That SMU game, kind of the same thing. Me and you both said it. They had the easiest path to the playoff or to the national championship game. But you know that I think that stops now. I think Notre Dame is going to be. I mean, they're essentially. You can really make the argument that this playoff run here or this playoff year, this year in general, that Notre Dame is probably the second best team in the field.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, there's really nothing more that we can say. It clearly wasn't Oregon. It clearly wasn't Georgia. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, it had to be Notre Dame, right? Yeah. So I think the run for Penn State stops now. I think James Franklin. I think he's put some of that stuff to bed though, that he can't win the big games because they done won 2 playoff games now. You know,
it's not much you can't say he ain't won a big game. It don't matter who it's against. It's still a playoff game.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You had to play somebody. You know, I mean, it ain't his fault. Right. He didn't choose who you played. So,
right.
I mean, And it wasn't even like that games was close. I mean, he took both teams to the woodshed. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens
And
against
pretty
Notre
much
Dame.
shut out Genty too. I know they say he got 100 yards, but it was on like 40 carries, bro.
Yeah,
like,
no, it was 3 yards. It was 3 yards per carry, which is extremely
for
inefficient.
him is low.
Yeah. Oh, for him is really low, but for any running back, it's really inefficient. So look, man, Penn State had a great season. You know, I don't think any team from here on out should really hold their head down because they've all done very well. I mean, Texas probably has higher aspirations than a Notre Dame and a Penn State, but hey, you know what I'm saying? You running up on a real beast in Ohio State. So at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna take Notre Dame in this game. I just really like what they're doing. I think they're really hot. I think the fact that they can run the ball. You know what I'm saying? I think the fact that Riley Leonard beat Georgia, he only had like 90 passing yards last week. I mean, that's incredible. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I think they're a really good team. Defensively too, man. I mean, good God.
Yeah.
I just think,
and the thing about Notre Dame too, on defense, they move so fast. Like, you know how like back when like Clemson used to take them to the woodshed in the playoffs, Bama used to take them to the wood. They like just seem to be a little like less athletic. No, not now. Like Notre Dame, that defense moves. Like they get around, they're fast. I mean, honestly, looking at that game the other day, I thought Notre Dame had the better athletes. That's just my personal opinion. Again,
what it looked like.
That what it looked like to me too, bro. It looked like Notre Dame had the better athletes than Georgia. That's just my opinion. You got to give Marcus Freeman some credit for that, bro. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
You gotta give Marcus Freeman some credit and what he's done. And I'm really happy. Again, I don't want to make this whole thing about race or nothing like that, but I am happy to see two brothers, in the playoffs too. James Franklin and Marcus Freeman. So good for both of them.
I hate they got to play each other right now too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not one of them out, but I think.
But I'm with you, man. I'm picking the same two teams. I got Ohio State going to the national championship, and I got Notre Dame going to the national championship. To me, that feels like the best two teams, and I feel like Notre Dame is the only one that can low key slow down Ohio State. Not saying they would, but we'll be back if that's the game. We'll be back to cover that. But again, I'm kind of with you 100% on this. I think that, to me, those are the two best teams left. I think Notre Dame has proved themselves since the NIU game. I think that, I just think they've done a really good job. I think they've kind of beat the narrative, Notre Dame can't beat nobody and da-da-da. I think they've kind of killed that narrative this year. Like, you can't really say that about them. They punched Georgia in the mouth and let the better team in Georgia for 4 quarters straight.
Smacked them.
Smacked them boys up front. You know what I'm saying? So I can't, we got to kind of give, Notre Dame they flowers, bro. So I'm definitely going to give them they flowers for sure. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. Those are the two teams I have in there as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk. I was gonna say let's talk about Georgia real quick because
go ahead.
I think that's I kind of want to talk about Oregon too a little bit, but I think we both agree that even though Oregon looked very good throughout the season, that Oregon's just one of those teams that no matter what they do, they just seem like they can't ever get over the hump, bro. I mean, they've had the most talented teams for a long time. We've seen them in the national championship against Auburn. They were far and away the more talented team.
Yeah.
All across the board, right? Against Ohio State, they were just as talented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Against Ohio State this weekend. I won't say they were just as talented, but they got a lot of guys going to the NFL next year.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Oregon's just one of those teams at this point who can't seem to get over the hump.
They haven't won a national championship. Think about that. As good as Oregon has been, I would say the last, 20 years or so, 25 years, they have not won a national championship once, ever. They have 0 national championships in the BCS era. 0. I don't even think they have any shared championships like back in the old days. Am I tripping, Chad? I don't know.
I don't know
if that's the case. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'll let you keep going. But yeah, Oregon, they're another one that just they just don't get it done, man. So going into that game, because we didn't talk about that game because we was on break. I had Ohio State winning that game because I seen what they did to Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I think Ohio State's gonna win that game, and they did. I didn't think they were gonna do it as emphatically as they did, but I did expect them to win.
Yeah.
And again, man, bro, I think Oregon is kind of stuck. I mean, and Dan Lanning's young, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, he can't win the big games. I mean, he's still young.
Yeah.
But that college altogether is kind of getting to a point where it's like, all right, bro, y'all been knocking on the door for like 20 years.
For sure.
And have not won a national championship and been to national championships. They went to against Cam Newton, right?
Yep.
They went to against, they didn't go to, yeah, they did go to, so didn't they go to the national championship with Mariota? Am I tripping?
The first year, the first college football playoff.
That's what I thought. They went there then and lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't, yeah, I'm looking at it now. They have no national championships at all. Not even any like
not even clean.
Ones. Not even no unclaimed ones. Yeah, they have nothing. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They don't have no. So, and again, this is a program that has been absolutely tremendous. I'm looking at how many times they won their conference. I mean, since like 1994, really 2000, they've been on fire. Especially in the 2010s and back, they've been on fire. But again, bro, it's just they can't seem to get over the hump, bro. They just, can't seem to get over the hump.
They just can't do it, man. And I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where they go from here because next year, you got to replace your quarterback, which is going to be Dante Moore.
And they've been trying to hype him up lately too.
Yeah, I mean,
he showed some flashes at at UCLA. But
UCLA, yeah.
We'll see.
But still, it really is just a we'll see situation for Oregon. We will see what they do. Not to mention, in the NIL era, they really have no excuse because they got that Nike money.
They got that Nike.
I mean, it's like,
yeah.
They get a bunch of transfers. I mean, Oregon they really don't have much of an excuse at this point. But back to the team that I really wanted to talk to about was Georgia. What's going on with them, man? Like, are they? It's not that they're a bad team. Obviously, they keep making the playoffs. They're still a very good team, but I don't think people are really that scared of Georgia anymore, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think for like maybe a year or two there, I think everybody was like, "Oh my God, we got to play Georgia. Georgia's on the schedule." That's Georgia.
You know what's happening to Georgia, bro? And I'm gonna keep it real. And I think some Alabama fans was kind of saying it, and I kind of somewhat agree. Georgia is more like Clemson than they are like Bama, to be honest. And I'm not saying that Georgia's not a good football program. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is what Saban did was generational and probably will never be done again. Not no time soon. I still think Georgia's going to eventually win another championship because they recruit so well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think they will eventually, like, you know what I'm saying, get back there and win a national championship. But I think that they've gotten to a point now where, honestly, their success has kind of became like a hindrance, almost like now these players are expecting like we gonna win a national championship. We ain't even gotta we Georgia. And Clemson went through that. We went through that too.
So
and like 21, 22, shit, still low key going through it. Like, we just now starting to turn the corner of, okay, we got to earn our way back up there. But I think a couple of things are happening. I think that they've gotten a little spoiled with winning national championships, and they thought it was easy to just run it back all the time. It ain't that easy. I'm telling you, as a Clemson fan, it ain't that easy to just run it back up there. I think NIL has changed stuff as well. I think the transfer portal has evened stuff out too. And I think that's kind of like we were just talking about with Notre Dame. When Notre Dame just didn't look athletic enough to compete with these teams. Now they can get in that transfer portal, right? And get guys from the Southeast and get athletic with it. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So now it's a different ball game. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what's happening to Georgia, in my personal opinion.
I agree. I think I'm gonna add another thing to that too. I don't think their passing attack is as dynamic enough. I think they struggle a little bit.
Those wide receivers are absolutely garbage.
I feel like they hype up wide receivers every single year, and they're never really that good. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, even not trying to be rude, even George Pickens was not really that good when he was there.
He really
wasn't no dynamic wide receiver when he was there.
Right. I feel like, to me, I thought Ladd was really good. Yeah. But like
He's probably the best wide receiver that I had come out of there the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, really, you could say probably since AJ Green at this point, because I don't think they've had anybody who they had. What, Calvin Ridley maybe, right? Went to
he went to Bama though.
He went to Bama.
He went to Bama. He ain't no Calvin Ridley, no. Bama. That's what I'm trying to take. Georgia ain't putting no niggas in the league like that, bro.
Yeah. You're right. So
that's I mean, they ain't really had nobody in the league like that. Low key, like that's a difference maker since like AJ Green, bro. Like low key.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't have it's like this, like Arian Smith. I don't think they always say he's a game changer. I haven't seen him change not one game, bro. Straight up like that. I haven't seen him change no game to the point where they Smith? Yeah.
I don't see him. No. I don't see him change games by drops.
You're right. By drops. You're right.
I don't see him change games, bro.
You're right. By drops. But they talk about him like he's some special receiver, and he's not.
He was at A&M at one point, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I think he was at A&M before. Go ahead, though. I think he was. I'll look it up.
And then the other guy, was it Dominic Lovett or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, bro. Like these guys
are. Bell too. Bell was another one. Bell was another one that they. What's his last name? Bell. He was number 86 for them. He on the team now. He ain't really Dylan Bell. He ain't doing nothing either. They hyped him up.
I just don't see. You know, they always hype and receive, but the problem is they have a receiver problem. I think the quarterback situation. I don't think it's like it ain't god awful, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's a we have to be honest. Like Georgia really needs to start hitting on these 5-star recruits and keeping these 5-star recruits.
Honestly, they need to start hitting that quarterback too.
That's what I'm saying. That's the position I'm talking about. Yeah. Quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
And honestly, I mean, I ain't trying to. And some Georgia fans were saying, even some of like the Georgia fans were saying they need to start getting some brothers out there at quarterback too. They need to. They ain't had a brother at quarterback in a while, brother. They told Deshaun Watson he was a tight end, folks. They told Cam Newton he wouldn't be able to play quarterback at Georgia.
See, that's what I'm saying. You can't do that, bro.
It's historically they've been doing
Justin
that.
Fields
I ain't
go to
trying
Ohio
to put
State.
race into it, but I'm just being real.
They historic. You're right. Yeah. The last one was Shockley, right?
Shockley, yeah.
That was it. They let Justin Fields walk. Jaden Rashada is transferring out, even though I don't think he really worth nothing. But they let him transfer out. You know what I'm saying? Georgia got to find a way to get some. They got to get some quarterback help. They really need a dynamic quarterback. If you going out there with these mid receivers, you need a quarterback that's going to be able to get them the ball. And that's no disrespect to Stetson Bennett because he did make it to the Heisman.
And won 2 national titles.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to him. There's really no disrespect to Carson Beck because even though he had a really down year this year, he was pretty good last year. But they got to find another weapon outside of running back and tight end if they want to be balanced. Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't have nothing at wide receiver. I don't think that's going to.
Yeah. And also, too, one more thing. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but one more thing. Georgia's defense has taken a decline, too. I mean, 2021, you couldn't move 2 yards on that defense.
Yeah.
Now, Georgia defense giving it up, man.
Yeah.
They Joy Taylor. Allegedly. Let me say. Allegedly, folks. Allegedly. My bad, bro. Oh, God. All right. But y'all get what I'm saying, though. Georgia defense ain't what they used to be, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
I'm not joking around, bro. But for real, though, Georgia defense ain't what they used to be either, bro. That's part of the problem, too, though. They still recruiting well, but they, their defense ain't good.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's being put in the right position that it could be. You know what I'm saying? It's not being coached because they got a lot of guys that I was watching about the Clemson game. That dude Brooks, I think his name is, a big Georgia fan. He kind of brought it up too way back then. He said Georgia got too many guys that you can play at too many positions, and that's where you get in trouble. You got to start having guys like if you're gonna have an edge rusher, don't have them at trying to play Mike, Will, Sam, and edge rusher and outside linebacker. No. If he's an edge rusher, have him at edge rusher. If he's a safety, don't be trying to put him out there at corner or whatever. If he's a safety, have him at safety. If he's a linebacker, don't put him out there at line or at safety or whatever. Have him at linebacker. They move their guys around too much, and you really need more consistency there. I think that's one of the biggest issues that they have. But But moving on, let's move on to the NFL if you ready,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, please. I'll
Let's
let you
get
kick it
right
off. Go
into
ahead.
it. Let's get
Yep.
right into it, bro. Straight up like that, we losing too many black coaches in the NFL, bro. And
And GMs.
GMs. And I let me say this first and foremost. These owners now, they ain't scared, bro. Like, you can tell that there's a changing of the guard going around, bro. They're not scared at all. Robert Saleh got escorted off the premises, and he didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, the Jets defense was lights out under him. And as soon as he left, they it was abysmal. They escorted him off the premises. Antonio Pierce got 1 year with the Raiders after everybody was saying how good of a coach that they thought he was going to be. After everybody was really excited about him being a player's coach, blah blah blah. 1 year is all he got. No quarterback, no quarterback help. They retained the GM, by the way, the same GM that told him make it work with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. All right, moving on to Tennessee. What's his name? Ron Carthon. Or Ron Carthon. Fired. GM Tennessee, 2 years. That's unheard of. You don't hear about GMs losing their job after 2
They at
years,
least get
bro.
3 or 4 years.
They at least, I'll be honest. I think
how long did Scott Fitter again? He was
Scott
terrible.
Fitter got 4. He got 4.
See, yeah, no.
Trent Baalke has been in Jacksonville for 4 years now.
I don't know how he got to keep his job.
And I don't know how he's been there for 3 head coaches or something like that. At some point, you got to call a spade and realize what the common denominator is, bro. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, how are you?
Why? Hold on, Cam, not to cut you off. So Callahan didn't get fired for Tennessee?
That's where I was about to go to next.
Okay.
That don't make sense to me because, listen, first and foremost, I don't think neither one of them should have been fired. I think Callahan, you can't get it done after just 1 year. And Tennessee wasn't in great shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But on the draft, they hit this year. They got J.C. Latham in the first round. They got Cedric Gray in the 4th round. They got Trevondre Sweat in the 2nd round. And it's another dude, the DB that they got in the 3rd round, 2nd or 3rd round. Was a good player. All had solid rookie seasons. And on top of that, you got Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears to work to work around. You just need to figure something out about wide receiver, which, by the way, no GM in Titans history has ever gotten the wide receiver position right.
Never.
Because they best wide receiver in history is probably AJ Brown. And the same GM that drafted him traded him away on draft night. So you can't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing, unless I'm missing a wide receiver. I don't mean no disrespect to nobody out there, but I'm trying to think of somebody else and I really can't. But they keep trying to bring in old wide receivers. They brought in Julio. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They brought in Calvin Ridley. I mean, all of these guys are on the decline when they bring them in. And they still do all right in Tennessee. But you gotta do a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the O-line was getting better. You know what I'm saying? The running back position was looking pretty solid. You know what I mean? They just had to fix the quarterback situation. But you can't fix that in 2 years. And my thing always has been, and I've been saying it all day today, if you're going to fire the GM, you probably need to fire the head coach too.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, it makes no sense to stagger hiring one or the other because essentially by doing that, you're setting them both up to fail. All right. They set Frank Reich up to fail when they retained Scott Fitterer. You know what I'm saying? They set Matt Rule up to fail when they retained Marty Hurney. You see what I'm getting at? Mm-hmm. But if they had brought Rule and Fitterer in at the same time, obviously it wouldn't have worked anyway. But you never know. You know what I'm saying? You could at least start it fresh. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where they messed up with this Callahan and Carthon situation. And I don't understand how, and this is just me, I know the owner of the Titans and the owner of the Raiders and the owner of the Patriots are different people, but I don't understand how Brian Callahan was not on the hot seat. They kept saying, no, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. I don't understand how he wasn't on the hot seat, but Gerard Mayo and Antonio Pierce were. And the Titans were the team that ended up with the first pick. I don't understand how Tom Telesoro, whatever his name is, the Raiders GM, I don't understand how he gets to keep his job, but Antonio Pierce has to lose his after a year. And the Raiders GM really been sorry, bro. They ain't brought nobody in.
Terrible.
I mean, be frank with me. They ain't brought nobody in. You know who? The only team that got it right during this whole process this year was ironically the New York Jets, because they fired both their head coach and their GM.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you got to do it. If you're going to reset, you need to actually reset. You don't listen, because at the end of the day, the GM and the head coach are supposed to be a duo. They're supposed to work together.
100%.
GM picks the players, and the head coach prepares the players. That's pretty much what it is. Yep. And if the guy that's preparing the players isn't doing his job, it's possible that's the players that the GM picked. And if the players that the GM picked aren't doing their job, it's possible that the head coach is at fault. But you don't know that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta reset, bro. You gotta fire both of them at the same time. And you gotta bring in. I think what the NFL should start doing is you got to start hiring duos. All right. Head coach candidates need to have a GM in mind and say, look, man, if you want me, I'm bringing my guy with me. Ben Johnson need to call somebody in that Lions front office and say, look, if y'all want to hire me, y'all got to hire my boy too. You feel me? Yep. If I'm Ben Johnson, I'm not going. No, if I'm him, I'm going into either the Patriots or I'm going to the Bears, because I think Ryan Poles is actually a good GM. So I'll probably go into the Bears, or I'm going to that's it, really, because I wouldn't go to the Jets because they're cursed, and I wouldn't go to the Jaguars because they got bulky. So, I mean, you just have to. It doesn't make sense to me, bro, that it keeps happening to us, bro, black people. And you see what they're doing with Byron Leftwich, right?
No, I haven't seen. What's going on with him?
Byron Leftwich. So, Byron Leftwich been out the league for about a year or two now. Byron Leftwich, for those of y'all that don't remember,
right? He was at Tampa Bay, right?
He was the OC for Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
All right. So Tampa Bay had, and listen to this, ironically, when they won the Super Bowl, their coordinators was black. All right. Todd Bowles was the DC, black, and Byron Leftwich was the OC, black. They're the first team in NFL history to ever win a Super Bowl with two black coordinators on their team. And Byron Leftwich ended up out of the league in 2 years after he won the Super Bowl, and hasn't been back to the league since. So it's been about 2 years now.
2 years,
right? But obviously he was a head coaching candidate the year immediately after they won the Super Bowl. He was hot. Yeah, everybody was looking at Byron Leftwich, and if you remember correctly, but he almost took that Jacksonville job before Doug Peterson. But he told Jacksonville, he said, "I'm not coming if Trent Baalke is the GM," and that was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was the biggest issue there. That's why he didn't be the head. That's why he didn't become the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Doug Peterson came in and was like, I'm cool with that. But right now, Byron Leftwich is back up for head coaching jobs. But obviously, as we know, there's a certain rule in the NFL that says that you have to interview a certain amount.
Minority, the running rule.
Exactly.
Right?
So obviously, we know at this point that there's a great chance that Byron Leftwich is not getting a head coaching position. He's literally been out of the league for 2 years. They're not going to hire him. But they're interviewing him to satisfy the Rooney Rule.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? And they're firing these black coaches. They fired Antonio Pierce. They fired Gerard Mayo. You see what I'm getting at? It has a problem, bro. There's a problem there. Go ahead, bro.
Let me get in here, because you're doing the politically correct thing to say. I'm gonna get straight into it. Let me pick up this mic so y'all can make sure y'all hear me. Let's be honest. When you're black, you always gotta work 2 times as hard. Let's stop the cap. When you're black, you can't afford to make no mistake, bro. And that's pretty essentially what they telling you here. I mean, it's just a fact. That's America. So if people are white and see this is no hard feelings towards y'all and like that, I mean, this is just what it is. When you are black, you're not allowed nothing. You got to be extraordinary and extra, like, you got to put in extra work than your white counterparts. That's just what it is. And if this ain't showed you this, Gerard Mayo fired after 1 year. I mean, look at his situation. It was terrible. There was no way he was winning any more than like 3 games this year, regardless. They fired him. Your boy for the Raiders, Antonio Pierce, really pretty similar situation. The fact that he got them to 3 or 4 wins, I'm actually surprised. Because that team was god-awful. They had no quarterback. You're going to bring out Aiden O'Connell and tell me to win with that? Come on, bro. Let's stop it, bro. Ryan Coltrane or whatever his name is. Bro, the Tennessee Titans had so much rebuilding to do. It was going to take him a minimum of 3 years to get that thing together, Cam. And they fired him in 2 years.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me interject on top of that. In the third year that he was going to need, he was going to have the number 1 overall pick and $40 million in cap space.
You see what's going on? You see what's going on? You see what's going on? That's what I'm saying. This is my point. The NFL has made it pretty blank and honest, and it's been like this for years. But now I feel like people are a little bit more in tune. I'm not trying to be social justice tea time, but I'm just being honest. I mean, this is just what's going on. When you're black, you have to do you just have to do more. How in the world, if you're gonna keep Callahan, why do you fire what's his name? Catron or whatever his name is? That makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. And I always look back at that daggone, what's the DC up there at Minnesota? I look back at his lawsuit.
Brian Flores.
And I'm like, you know what? After seeing what done happened the last 24 to 48 hours, I don't see how you cannot take his lawsuit seriously. Because you're seeing it in real time.
He's also in that lawsuit.
Yeah. And where he at? Steve Wilkes, he can't even sniff a college job. I mean, again, bro, it's not right. I'm 100% with you. Everything you said, it's not right. It's too many black coaches getting fired at an alarming rate after just one season. If Antonio Pierce and dude had another bad season next year, cool, get rid of him.
Yeah,
2 years. That at that point you done gave him as a coach. Now as a GM, I think the GM should minimum have 3 years. I'm not gonna lie. At least. But as a coach, if you suck for 2 years, they fire you. Cool. And I'm gonna tell you what black dude actually does need to be fired, but it sounds like he's gonna keep his job. That Terry Fontenot dude down in Atlanta, he actually needs to be fired. Like he actually stinks. He took Cal Pitts 4 overall. Like he sucks. Like he been there for 4 years now, going on 5. He actually needs to be fired. And that's a black dude that actually needs to lose his job. I'm not gonna lie. I know I'm gonna call people jobs, but he sucks.
Gave Kirk Cousins all that money.
And gave Kirk, look at that. That looks terrible. So that's a dude that if you fired him, I'm not gonna be like, oh, so no, he needs to be fired. I'm not gonna lie. But again, bro, I'm with you. Like, in my personal opinion, I'm with you, Cam, 100%. I agree with everything you said. Something ain't right. These folks ain't even hiding it either. It's right up in your face with it. And, again.
Listen. So the New England Patriots have completed interviews with Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton. So they've satisfied their
neither one of them getting the job, bro.
Yeah, come on, man.
Them two names ain't been bought up in 3-4 years, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Pep Hamilton, bro, be for real, man. They just satisfying the Rooney Rule, man. You can see it. You see exactly what Robert Kraft doing, bro. You see it. You see it with your own 2 eyes, bro. You see exactly what Robert Kraft is doing, bro. I mean, he got. I don't even want to get into that, bro. I was about to say he got a history of this, but I ain't even gonna get into it, bro. And look at the Dallas Cowboys. They haven't made a decision on Mike McCarthy yet, but they told the Chicago Bears that they could not interview him. So they're most likely. That means most likely they're going to extend him. Yep. Exactly. And I don't think McCarthy's a bad coach, but you got to be honest, bro. Is he worth the contract extension? I don't think so. I think you need to start fresh.
No.
I think you need to start fresh at this point. I do not think he's a bad coach. I think he's well worth the NFL coaching job. But if it hasn't worked out with the Dallas Cowboys, then they need to be the ones making the decision. That's like, what is it, 6 years, 5 years with McCarthy? He got hired the same year as Rule. So 5.
5, yeah.
So
is it 5 years, really? You might be right.
5 years. He got hired the same year as Rule, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna look it up, but keep going. I think you're right, though.
They scooped him up before we got Rule. I think it was 2020 should be his first season with the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what? I think you are right, because didn't the Panthers try to interview him too?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the Cowboys scooped him up.
I'm pretty sure it
was the same year.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's been with them. Yeah, freaking wild.
So
So yeah,
2020?
Mike McCarthy has been with Dallas since 2020 and has won a total of how many playoff games?
One, I think, because
One.
they beat the Buccaneers that year.
One. That's it. With all that talent.
All that talent. You got a top flight quarterback.
And in
Dak
5
Prescott
years, you've won one playoff game.
They
How
gave
was
Dak
he not
Prescott
getting
two
fired?
contracts within that time. Dak Prescott got 2 contracts within that time. They got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons.
It's making me mad.
All of that talent, bro.
Crazy. I didn't even know he had been. I didn't notice McCarthy had been there for 5 years, bro.
5 years, yeah. That's why I said I don't.
Like, whoa,
that's why I said
for a minute.
That's why I said I don't think he's a bad coach because 2 of those 5 years,
he's
Dak got
respectable.
hurt.
Like people respect Mike. They was talking about this on
For
ESPN yesterday. He's a respectable guy. Like all the players like seem to kind of like him.
Yeah,
but he's just an average coach, bro. Like not trying to be rude. Like 10, 15 years ago, he was a great coach. Now he's just average. He's a likable guy, but he's average.
Yeah,
in Dallas with what they got, you can't settle for no average, bro.
Yeah, you can't. That's what I'm saying. You gotta let that.
I don't like them. They're too talented to be average.
You gotta let that walk. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him, but you gotta. It's one of those things because like his contract's up, so it's technically he wouldn't be fired. He just wouldn't be retained. You know what I mean?
Him, right?
Yeah. So like, I think that's a perfect ending for that. Just say, look, man, it ain't really worked. We're gonna move in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's perfectly fine.
And that job would be like
highly coveted,
highly thought of, right?
Highly coveted. And I think they're in a different situation too, because Jerry Jones isn't going to fire himself. You know what I mean? He's the general manager, so they're not going to fire themselves, he's not going to fire himself. So you're really going in there and you're working directly under Jerry Jones. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there with the Dallas Cowboys. But that's another situation where I'm just like, okay, how he got 5 years, but Antonio Pierce only got 1. You dig what I'm saying?
Nah.
Matt Eberflus got 3 years with the Chicago Bears. Got 2 quarterbacks in those 3 years, which is what really irks my soul. He got 2 quarterbacks and almost wasted. He wasted Justin Fields and really almost wasted Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Luckily, they got him up out of there, but he got 3 years, right? God, I'm trying to think what other head coaches out there that should have been canned. Brian Daboll in New York.
How is he getting retained?
They brought him back, and they brought him and the GM.
Daniel Jones money, wasn't he?
No, the GM that gave him that money and let Saquon walk is still there. I would have fired both of them and restarted.
I was about to say both of them would have been gone.
And I don't even think Daboll is that terrible, but you got to restart at some point, bro. Like these guys, that's what I'm saying. It makes no sense how they keep their job, bro. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. I really don't understand it. They knew Doug Peterson got 3 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and after that debacle that was the end of last season, you really could have made an argument to fire him then. You could have made an argument to fire him when they blew that 28-point lead. No, they came back on 20. Never mind. That was them that came back. But you really could have made an argument to fire him last year. And you still ain't fired the GM. That's what I'm saying, bro. There's a difference. You feel me? There's a big difference, bro. A huge difference. Steve Wilkes got fired his 1 year in Arizona. You did what I'm saying? Who was Lovie Smith? Didn't he get fired his 1 year in Houston?
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did. You know what I'm saying?
And that's when they took out the first pick, right? It was supposed to get Bryce.
They took out the first pick, and that's how we end up getting Bryce, and they end up getting CJ, which is fine for them. I'm sure they cool with that, and they got DeMeco Ryan, so I know they ain't mad. You know what I'm saying? But still, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's just certain situations like that really make me wonder, like what in the world is going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think I just think that certain coaches, when you look at coaches in their first year, okay, Dan Campbell, his first year with Detroit, they were 3-13-1.
Yep.
Now he's the number 1 seed in the NFC.
And he's probably a top 3 NFL coach right now. I don't think nobody
Some,
would argue that.
somewhere around there at the very least. It don't matter because his team is the number 1 seed. So no matter what you say,
I mean, this is back-to-back years where they've looked like a top 5 team in the league.
Yes.
I think, and again, I guess we'll get into this in a minute when we start talking playoffs, but I think Detroit's here to stay for a while. I don't think they're going to be like a flash in the pan situation. I think they're going to be good for the next couple of years. Because when you look at their core, they're pretty young, bro. Like even Golf, what's Golf, 31? So he's still got.
I don't even think is he 30?
He might not even know if
he's 30.
I think he's right at 30, but the majority of their team is pretty like young.
So my thing is this, and this is really my question for the Detroit Lions. Ben Johnson leaves, what's gonna happen? Yeah. That's my biggest question. Because if Ben Johnson, is he the catalyst behind this? Which we kind of already know he pretty much is. But is he so much of a difference maker that as soon as he leaves, are they gonna be kind of mid? That's the
is he question. Gonna leave though? That's the thing.
I think he will.
He's done turned down 2 times now.
I think he will. If I'm him,
I think he will.
If I'm him, I'm looking.
I thought he should have left a year or 2 ago, personally, but
I'm looking at a couple situations on him. I'm looking at the Chicago Bears right down the street.
Yeah,
because I think they're in a really good spot right now.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of looking at the New England Patriots because you do have Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're at least the expectations are probably going to be a little bit higher, but you're white, so you'll get an extra year at least. I'm looking at roster wise. I would love to look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, but the guy, but Trent Baalke still being there. I don't know.
Still there, bro. That's the problem.
I don't know if I can do that.
Trent Baalke's still there, bro.
I don't know if I can do that, but I will say I think Ben Johnson needs to take a long, hard look. If Mike McCarthy does become or if the Cowboys job does become available, I would take a long, hard look at that one. You do have to deal with Jerry Jones, but at least you got to deal with him and not, a Trent Baalke. You dig what I'm saying? Like, or Tom Telesco. At least you got to deal. At least you know exactly what you about to walk into. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Ben Johnson, again, you're white, so you might have, and you're younger, so you might have a little more pull with a guy like Jerry Jones. He might be willing to listen to you,
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll really see.
Definitely interesting conversation. I want to move on before we get to the playoff talk. Can we talk about Bryce Young for a little bit? I'm really impressed with Bryce Young, man. And kind of what he's became the last back half of the season, really, essentially. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm really impressed with Bryce Young. I'm not gonna lie. I'm impressed with Dave Canales. Cam, I've been telling people like, bro, I think y'all a little too hard on Canales. I want to read you off some stats here because I got some stats that we tweeted out from our page on Twitter. So y'all can go follow us over there at TCT Podcast 1, by the way. These are some stats that we've had for Bryce Young since, he came back. So in the last 10 games, he's went 4-6. So he's won 4 games. That's more than the Carolina Panthers have won in the last 2 years. So he's won. Yeah, since Steve Wilkes. So 4-6, right? He's 62%. All right, 2,100 yards. So that's about 210 yards a game, which is pretty good for a young quarterback. 14 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And I must tell you one thing: 3 of them interceptions is on the wide receivers. In the Denver game, but the one that hit, I think it was either Coker or Trimble's hands. The one that the Xavier Legette got straight stripped from in the Saints game. And there was another one too, I think in that Denver game that he threw that really wasn't his fault. So I'm really damn near ready to say 3 picks for real.
6 rushing touchdowns.
6 rushing touchdowns. And he's averaging 22 yards per game rushing the ball. I mean, I'm not going to lie, man. With that roster that the Panthers have, especially on defense, they're absolutely god-awful. They made history of being one of the worst defenses ever, essentially, the other day ago. I think they had the most points scored on them.
Most points scored in the season.
So, they're terrible. But
by the way, you want to talk about a black man that really could lose their job? Hey, now.
Evero. Yeah, I'm
going
going to give them a little bit of a break, though, because what they had on defense,
The
I'll give
injuries.
him a look because Derrick Brown was out, stuff like that. I'll give him a little bit of a pass.
Yeah.
But if he stinks up, next year he should be scalding hot.
For
If
sure.
they have a little rough patch, get him up out of here, bro. I wouldn't
sure.
waste no time. But again, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm impressed with Bryce Young, bro. I don't know whatever Rod Wave got on that phone and told that brother, but he need to come tell me. I don't know what he done did, but he done really turned that man life around completely. We all need to be getting on the phone with Rod Wave, sound like, because Rod Wave done really got bro turned up. Bryce Young has been different. He been smiling again. You could tell at the beginning of the year he was acting timid and acting scared and still, I'm Bryce Young and I just want to. Nah, he talking that
sounded like Michael Jackson in the 90s.
Yeah, bro. Not now though. He talking about, oh, y'all seen that? They got that on camera. Y'all seen what I did my little like. He talking that talk now. You can tell he like is enjoying football again. So I'm extremely happy for Bryce because he seems like a really good kid. He's a really good guy to root for. And I'm happy for him, man. I'm just excited. And more importantly, too, I'm excited for the Panthers fans. Like, we've been waiting. Like, we won 5 games this year, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm hyped. I'm excited. Like, I'm actually excited for the future for the first time in a long time, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think Bryce Young is the future. I think he's answered any question that you need to answer these last, 10 weeks. I think he's really answered pretty much everything. Do we think this guy can be a franchise quarterback? I'm not going to lie. What I seen on Sunday, 100%. The last 3 or so weeks, besides the Dallas game, every other game, he's looked like a franchise quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, this is the guy we kind of expected to get out of Bama. Like, this is what we were expecting originally. And I think now you got to give Canales a lot of credit. I think he's just turned the corner on things. And I think that, I think he's just starting to get it now. I think Bryce has gotten comfortable. And hopefully we'll see what happens next year. I think they need to get him a wide receiver 1, which I guess we'll jump into that today because there was some stuff going on with Garrett Wilson and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on there. But I think if they get a true wide receiver 1, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, not going to lie, man, Bryce Young. And I think also as well, and shout out to AB because he kind of said it too. Chuba Hubbard's development also helped Bryce as well. As good as Chuba was this year, it kind of helped take the pressure off of Bryce a lot more. We wasn't sitting in 3rd and 11 situations a whole bunch because the O-line and Chuba was moving forward. So I got to give him credit. Shout out to AB for that because that is very true. But again, man, I'm impressed with Bryce, man, and I want to get your take on it. Like, what do you think about Bryce?
Yeah, I ain't got much to add to it, man. I think he's been really good as of late. I think if I'm not mistaken, he got more big time throws on the season than Patrick Mahomes got. Like that's huge.
Crazy.
That is huge.
I seen a list where he's got like the most big time throws in the NFL this year.
Yeah, over the last
10 weeks, I guess.
Something like that. Yeah.
He's got more big throws than like your boy Lamar, Josh, like all of them. He was top of the list. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe
you can see it. And you can see it like in the game, like every week he making these incredible throws. And I'm talking like it's not even like what he was doing last year. He was so timid, like you said. I mean, it was like anytime the ball left his hands, there was a higher likelihood that it was going to be an incompletion or an interception than it was going to be a completion. And that was the bad part. This year, when I see that ball leave his hands and when I see him stare down that field, I'm just like, this dude is a killer. This is what I saw at Alabama. This is what I saw when he won that Heisman. Like, this is, you know how many touchdowns he had on Sunday, bro?
5.
He had 5 on Sunday. 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. First player in Panthers history. Not even Cam Newton did that. And Cam Newton said it was signed, sealed, and delivered. He said it was stamped that he was coming up, that he was next. Bryce looked good, bro, at this point in time. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'm going to keep it a whole band with you. He finished the season a top 15 quarterback in the NFL.
100%. Yeah, are we arguing that? Should nobody be arguing that?
Top 15 quarterback.
Yeah, should nobody be especially like the last 5 weeks or so. Yeah, Bryce was top 15 for sure. Shouldn't even be a question.
So, listen, I think going into next year, we'll see what happens. We'll see what Dan Morgan and company do in the draft. I think that's going to be really interesting. I'm excited to see what we do. we got to get help on defense, obviously. But if we can find a way to bring in a wide receiver one, like you said, if we can bring in a T. Higgins or a Garrett Wilson, like you said, I would love that. I would love it. And I think they would love it too, because Bryce is going to them. He going to get you that ball next year.
I mean, look how he made Thielen and Coker look this year. And even Leggett looked good the other day ago. Like, I don't know, man. I think, again, we got to give a little credit to your boy, man, Dave Canales. He's scheming them boys up, man.
Scheming them. Bro, you know what? Bro, we was saying that for years, me and you. We was saying you got to scheme guys open. You can't just expect them to run the route.
We literally said that. That's crazy.
Bro, we was saying that during the town halls. We was like, bro, you got to get somebody in here that's going to scheme these guys open.
Yep.
Because, bro, it used to make me so mad. Like, they used to run these basic vanilla routes, but now these are like complex plays. Like, these are actually NFL plays they doing. And they doing like some trickery, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I like to see, bro. This is real stuff right here.
Before we move on, if let's just say the Panthers do a decent job in the offseason, this offseason, what do you think is the expectations going into 2025?
I gotta look at the schedule. I don't know. I don't know who's on the schedule, but hold on, I can find it right now. Matter of fact,
I know the home schedule is pretty difficult. We got Cowboys, Rams.
I see it. I got you.
Okay.
So at home, we actually got more away games next year too instead of home games. So next year we got, the division opponents: the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Cowboys. And then on the road, we got the division opponents: the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Patriots, the Jets, the Packers, and the Jaguars. And I'm pretty sure that was probably most likely going to be in London. So, I mean, look, if we get our situation together, I think the expectation should, at this point, it should be a wild card spot. I mean,
you're saying playoffs next year?
Well, no, I'm not saying playoffs, but I'm saying the expectation should be playoffs. So, in wild card, I'm not saying they're going to win a division.
Yeah,
because I still think the Buccaneers are going to be really good. Baker Mayfield was awesome this year. So I think the Bucs are still going to be good. I think the Falcons got a chance to improve next year a lot. I think the Saints going to be worse than us, but I think wild card should try to be in play for the Carolina Panthers. That should be the expectation. But the schedule does look kind of tough, so I'm expecting. I always say it, until I'm proven wrong, it's gonna be 5 wins. Until I'm proven wrong, they got 5 again this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm maxing us out at 5 again, but that's only because the schedule looks
difficult.
It looks kind of. I mean, it don't look the worst, but again, the 49ers might be better next year, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Seattle Seahawks, who knows what they're going to be looking like. You know what I'm saying? The Rams might be really good.
That's another team that I feel like nobody talks about, and they just did it again. Like, they made it to the playoffs again. And nobody's talking about them. Won the division. Ain't nobody been talking about the Rams all season. They just keep continuing to be good.
I'm telling you. And, and it's coaching. They got you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of the teams on the schedule, I know a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, oh my God, the Cowboys suck, the 49ers suck, we be all right. Y'all got to understand, they had injuries just like we did.
Yeah.
And if we're expecting to get better coming off our injuries, they probably will too. Right. So, I don't know. I'm maxing this out at 5. That's just an early look. You know, I don't know what I'm kind of there with.
I think this year I had them at 4 to 5, and they got there. I think I'm kind of with you though. Depending on what they do, I say 7. They get to 7 or 8, and right there in the ranks of getting into the playoffs, I'm feeling pretty good. And Bryce playing good. That's the main thing I care about. Then I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm kind of there with you. Let's start kind of winding it down, because I want to talk about some of these playoff games real quickly. First game up, right, is it Texans versus the Chargers? Is that the first one up?
Is that Saturday?
That's Saturday, yeah. So that's the first one up on Saturday is Texans versus Chargers. Yep, it is. All right. Just give me your quick take. What do you think? Who you got winning?
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take the Texans because they at home.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know. Everything in me really wants to take the Chargers. I mean, to
Chargers
be
are a tough
honest,
out, man. I'm not gonna
they
lie.
tough. They are
They're a
tough.
tough out.
They tough. I don't know. I think the Texans. I think Stroud kind of took a step back this year. I think it was a really bad sophomore slump for him. So they had injuries. Nico Collins was out for a long time. Tank Dell is out. So I think you know what, bro? I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna go with the Chargers, bro.
You gonna go with the Chargers?
I'm going with the Chargers, bro.
I don't blame you. I'm not mad at it because the Texans have kind of been shaky this year.
They shaky, bro. That's the thing. See, the Chargers are really consistent, and that's the thing. The Chargers are super consistent. Their defense is lights out. Justin Herbert is playing very well, even though the numbers don't look like it. He's playing really good. He's probably playing some of the best football he's ever played. McConkey is outstanding as a rookie. Good. J.K. Dobbins, I think is back healthy, right? Is he? I'm pretty sure he's back now.
Yeah, he's back.
I mean, I like the Chargers, man. I think they're gonna go in there. I think it's gonna be a close game.
At first, I was kind of with Houston. I'm kind of with you, man. I'm going with the Chargers as well in this game. I think that they're just so fundamentally sound. They're a really good team that's played in a really tough division. I mean, we got to think about it. 3 teams from that division got in. The Broncos were good this year too. So we got to give them credit. And I think the Texans really in a weak division, man. Ain't nobody in that division worth a crap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Titans trash. Jaguars trash, Colts trash, like all of them is trash. So I'm kind of with you. I got the Chargers winning this game, bro. I'm right there with you. Let's move on to the next game, which is your boys on that Saturday night. We got Ravens versus y'all's biggest enemy, the Steelers. What's your take?
So I'm gonna refrain from picking a team.
Okay, yeah, you do
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna refrain. I'm gonna refrain from picking a team, but what I will say though, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin is starting to look a little scary for him.
Yeah,
bro. Is at some point we're gonna have to be honest, bro. Like this keeps happening. The Steelers always start hot. They always have something going, and then when it comes to playoff time, the wheels start to fall off the wagon. And unfortunately for them, the wheels are falling all the way off the wagon right now. They've lost 4 in a row heading into the playoffs. I mean, they're lucky that they made it in because they clinched they clinched the playoffs like 5 weeks ago, and ever since then they've lost every single game. Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, is limited now. I mean, he hasn't looked good. I've seen some people rumor that Justin Fields might actually get to start. That's not going to happen.
No.
They're not going to do that at this point. But I think he needs the job next year, though. And he probably should have kept the job all year this year. But I think the Steelers, the wheels are falling off the wagon. And I think the Ravens, again, don't want to speak it out of existence, but they hot right now. I mean, they don't want 4 straight. The Steelers are lost. They don't want 4 straight. The Steelers are lost 4 straight. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I'm kind of with you, man. I got the Ravens, bro. I think the Ravens right now. Again, I think Lamar's on his way from winning. But will this be his 3rd MVP or 4th?
3rd.
And this will be 2 back-to-back, correct?
Yep. Go ahead.
I think he's gonna win the MVP. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now. I think he's gonna win another MVP this year. And I think they're gonna win this game on Saturday too, as well. Again, I kind of go exactly with what you said. The Ravens are hot right now. They're on fire. They seem to be clicking, and then I'm kind of with you. The Steelers are doing the exact opposite. They're going down rails. So I'm 100% with you there. Let's move on to the Sunday game. Bills versus Broncos. How you feel about that one?
I think Josh Allen gonna blow them boys out.
Yeah,
he hot. He hot right now. And the Broncos, they're a good team, like a really good team.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm.
They're a really good team. Bo Nix, man, bro.
He went crazy to that golden Chiefs.
Oh boy,
he went crazy. As a former Bo Nix hater, I really don't hate him no more. I used to, but as a former Bo Nix hater, that dude, he good.
I'm actually really surprised that he's playing.
He's
as well
turning
as
the corner, bro. He's turning. I gotta give him credit. He's turning the corner, man.
Yep. I did not think he was going to be an NFL quarterback, but he's turned out to be pretty good in year 1. So he probably finished 2nd, I think, in rookie of the year behind Jaden Daniels. But I think I don't think they stand a chance. Though. I mean, It's the Buffalo Bills we talking about. We know they destined for at least a playoff victory. We know they destined for a matchup with either the Chiefs or the Ravens. I would suspect. So yeah, I'm gonna take Josh Allen and the Bills, and I don't think it's gonna be close.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I ain't even no point of me elaborating any further. I'm right there with you. Also as well, we got at the 4:30 game on that Saturday, we got the Eagles versus the Packers. That's gonna be a low key
Wow.
kind of good one. Yeah, it's gonna be some good football on this weekend for sure, bro. Who you got in that one? What you thinking?
It better be the Eagles for Nick Sirianni's sake at this point.
Yeah.
They had a really good year. I mean, there's no
Mhm.
debating it. But at this point, the Eagles, they're all in on the Super Bowl. They got one out of Doug Peterson. They got Nick Sirianni, took them back there. Now it's at the point where you got one of the best rosters in the NFL, at least top 5. You got to make it to the Super Bowl. It really is Super Bowl or bust for them. So
100%.
I think they better win this game. And also the Packers are going to be without Christian Watson.
Yeah, he
So
tore his ACL or something like that, right?
yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So
Yeah, that's
he's going to be out. So I think that's not going to bode well for them. And I'm gonna take the Eagles. I think Saquon, and this is the Eagles coming off a rest too, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think
Could be a
Saquon
little
and the
rusty.
crew. Yeah, I think they're gonna. No, I think it's gonna be the opposite. I think they're gonna be well rested and
So you
ready to
think they're gonna
roll.
be ready to roll? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I don't think this one's gonna be that close either. I think it on paper it looks like a good game, but I don't know. The Eagles are they pretty
Like they
good.
like that this year. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, they
with you.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm going the same way. I got the Eagles pretty sizingly. I would say like 8 points or so. I think they win this game pretty decidedly. I'm kind of with you. After that game, the night game, we got the Bucks versus the Commanders.
That's a
And
good one.
I'll actually give my pick first. I'm pulling the Commanders here, man. Let's go. Left hand up. Who are we at the Commanders? I don't know. It's something about that team.
You said- what?
Yeah, so they be talking about left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
I ain't seen that. That's funny
Yeah,
though.
bro. Left hand up. Who are we at the Commanders, bro? I'm picking the Commanders in this game, bro. Pull off. I don't know if this would be technically like an upset, but like you feel me? I'm picking the Commanders to beat the Bucks, bro. Not gonna lie. I got Commanders winning this game. I just don't believe in the Bucks. They should have lost to New Orleans the other week ago. They honestly should have lost to Carolina, not the week that they just blowed them out, but the couple weeks before that. I just don't believe in the Bucks like that. Baker Mayfield is just too sometime. And congratulations to Mike Evans getting to his 1,000 yards again for like the 11th straight season. But again, bro, I'm picking the Commanders here. I do kind of want to see what the health is on Frankie Louvu because I don't know what that situation is because they were saying something about he hurt, but I'm still picking the Commanders to win this game. And I think a couple of former Panthers are playing pretty good. I think Jeremy Chin's having a really good season out there and Frankie Louvu. So I got the Commanders.
I think I'm gonna take I'm actually gonna take the Buccaneers on this one.
Okay.
Just because they got a little more experience at the coaching position and the quarterback position, at least, or I won't say experience, but consistency this year. I think Dan Quinn should be coach of the year candidate, maybe even a winner. I think it's down between him and Kevin O'Connell, I would probably say. But I think that Todd Bowles has been in this situation before with Baker Mayfield. I think Baker's having a really good season. So I'm gonna take the Buccaneers on this one.
Okay. And then last game of the weekend is actually a Monday nighter, which will be January 13th. We got the Rams versus the Vikings. I'm gonna give my take here first. That's gonna be a really good game, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to take the Vikings in this game, even though they've kind of been struggling, and that game will be in LA. I'm still gonna take the Vikings in this game. They did go 14-3 this year. I mean, that's incredible season. Even with Sam Darnold, they did a really good job. Now he struggled the other night, I'm not gonna lie, but still a really good season for that team in total. I'm taking the Vikings to win that game, bro. Not gonna lie.
I'm gonna take the Vikings too. But if the Rams defense does what Detroit defense does and they dial up that pressure on Sam Darnold, it might get ugly quick.
Yeah.
Because even though he had a great year, I mean, he threw 35 touchdown passes. What?
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And they're loaded on offense too. That's why I tried to tell people they got Aaron Jones, they got TJ Hawkinson, and they got two of the best wide receivers in the league, and
Yeah.
Jefferson and Addison. They're loaded. But if the Rams, young rookie, bookends, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, and my boy Jared Fisk, if they get after Sam Darnold, it's gonna be
whoever
a long
they
day for the
GM is,
Vikings.
he's been cooking in the draft the last couple of years.
Yep.
Because the Rams don't even be having that many picks, and they still be cooking.
And they still be hitting. Listen,
every time, every year.
Listen,
I don't know who that GM is, but he be cooking.
Jared Verse was their first pick, first round pick since Jared Goff, right?
Yep.
But one thing that you notice though, that whoever their GM is, I actually don't know who he is either.
I don't
whoever
either.
him
find out though.
Yeah, look him up. Whoever him and Sean, that's a head coach and GM tandem that I was talking about. You let them build rapport.
Oh yeah, Les Snead, that's his name.
Okay, yeah. So you let them build rapport, and now look what you got. You got a team that's always in the fight, no matter what. Aaron Donald retired. So what? I mean, they still good. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Yeah.
So it's like, anyway, I'm gonna take the Vikings though for sure.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings are dominant, to be honest with you. 14-3 ain't nothing to I have to pick them in the first round after that.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Last thing before we sign off tonight. This is a little bit fun and games. It's your glorious king's birthday, Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to glaze. Go ahead, do your thing.
Man,
hey, bro.
Nah, for real though. I ain't gonna lie. Unfortunately, I think the writing is on the wall for that MVP, bro. I think it's going to Josh Allen, bro. I think they're gonna give it to Josh, bro. I've been seeing, first and foremost, no disrespect to Dan Orlovsky. I'm not trying to call him out, but he has been like kind of the biggest media person throughout this whole MVP cycle. And he's pretty much said that he's already voted for Josh Allen. It was already in the books for him. He's already made he's made the case pretty much every single day on Twitter. I mean, he pretty much what he's doing, he's not lobbying, but he's pretty much announcing to other writers like, hey, if you want to be anything like me, vote for Josh Allen. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that's gonna carry some weight. Josh Allen is a betting favorite right now. Even now, fans, most of us obviously would take Lamar. I think most of us are gonna vote for, like, if we had a vote, if it was a fan voted award, Lamar is winning that thing easily.
Yeah.
But the writers are who's voting, and I think they're gonna vote Josh Allen. And a lot of it is, unfortunately for Lamar, is they keep saying, well, Lamar's already got two. We got it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that's
he's getting the LeBron James treatment, essentially.
He getting this voter fatigue. It's, well, we like Josh Allen a lot, and we don't think there's a big gap between Lamar and Josh Allen, so we're gonna give Josh Allen one. But you remember the last time this happened in a major in a major sports organization, it was Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, well, Jokic got two and Embiid don't have one, and we don't think there's a big gap between Jokic and Embiid. Obviously, that was false, but I think the same thing is happening in this situation, bro. And I think they're gonna give Josh Allen an MVP. So, but with that being said, Lamar is the greatest dual threat quarterback of all time. There's no question
100%.
at it.
It shouldn't nobody even be trying to argue that at this point.
Nobody even be arguing. He's got the most rushing yards by a quarterback. He had a 10-1 touchdown to interception ratio this year.
Yeah, shouldn't nobody be trying to argue that at this point. Anybody that's trying to argue that is crazy. Even as a Cam Newton stand here, ain't nobody.
They still, and I really don't mean no disrespect when I say this, but some people still saying Vic, and I'm like, y'all,
no.
Vic got passed by Cam Newton.
He
really got lapped by Cam Newton. If we be honest,
Lamar is lapping Cam now.
Lapping Cam. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. So it's just, I don't know, man. But anyway, shout out to Lamar. Happy birthday to him. I hope he gets a big win on Saturday. I hope he goes all the way and finally wins the Super Bowl, because that would be, if he
I would really like to see them in the Detroit Lions. Because I'd be cool. That's the Super Bowl I thought we were gonna get last year. But I think we could get it for real this year. And I would love, because I like both of those teams. So either one, I'd be like okay with winning. Like either
Okay.
one, I'd be like, you know what? I've been pulling for Detroit like the last couple of years, saying that they're like they on their way, they on their way. I've been telling people since damn Campbell got there. Essentially, I've been telling people like they're on their way, bro. They gonna be good. Like even that year they went 13-3, I was like, yeah, bro, I can see it because in every game they were fighting. So I was like, yeah, they gonna be in there. Quick thing before we log off to Joy Taylor incident in Fox Sports. Let's talk about it real quickly and we're gonna log off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to make a long story short. Essentially, and this is some serious allegations, so it really ain't nothing to be joking about for real.
Yeah.
The hairdresser individual, I think her last name is Fahidi, if I'm not saying it right. Fahidi, something like that. She has a Middle Eastern name, so I'm not sure if that's exactly correct, but it's Fahidi. She was a hairdresser that was at Fox, and essentially she put a lawsuit out on Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless. Golly, that's crazy. Skip Bayless, some of the execs, I can't think of the guy's name, but the one they alleging that was sleeping with Joy Taylor. Now I don't know. Now, let me ask you a question: was Emmanuel Acho in the lawsuit, or he was just mentioned that he was sleeping with?
So
she's not suing him, right?
So if I can remember correctly, Acho is in the lawsuit because him and Joy Taylor were, I guess, involved. That's the only thing. He's not being sued. He's just named
Dixon. Yeah, Dixon's the CEO's name.
I don't think he being sued. I think he just named.
Okay, his name was
because they named dropped Cowherd too.
He said he was a professional. He said he was the only. He said she literally said he was one of the only professionals in the whole building.
Professional, exactly.
Yeah, he was I was kind of like surprised to hear that. I'm not even gonna hold you. So that brother just up there putting out bad takes. I respect it though.
Yeah.
At least he a decent human being though.
Yeah, he decent to people though, is what it sounds like. But he's a decent
human being, so he got my respect off that alone. But essentially, again, it's not a joking matter, but it is kind of crazy. Social media been going crazy about it, the whole Joy Taylor situation, and it's kind of crazy that everybody's like going in on Joy Taylor, but this dude Skip allegedly
that what
a Skip was asking for 1.5 for it, bro. It's not funny, but like Skip was asking the girl, and I think AB told me this last night in the lawsuit. The girl had to lie and say she had ovarian cancer so that he wouldn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I thought she actually had it because it was in the lawsuit that she said that she had ovarian cancer. But AB told me last night that she said that to kind of like get him off her essentially. And Skip was pretty much like, I don't care, essentially. Allegedly. Again, this is all alleged. But essentially that's what he was saying, that she didn't care. So again, I mean that he didn't care. And then there was some racist and bigoted remarks made allegedly by, Joy Taylor. And I'm not gonna lie, Cam, and the whole her fucking her way to the top is what people are talking about. Again, this is all alleged. So again, it's just alleged. I don't know about you. That does not surprise me with her for some reason. I'm not gonna lie. If it was like Taylor Rooks, I probably would like a little bit more understand because Taylor Rooks seems real respectable and like she actually seemed like she worked hard to get where she at. Now, don't get me wrong, her looking pretty does help. I'm not gonna lie. But Joy Taylor, I think her rise was just too quick. Like she went from bartender to being on like the number 2 sports show in the country in like a year. That's kind of
it's one of those things where it's like when you seen what was said, it's like it was. I don't want to say it was funny, but like it was just like, well, her situation, that one was funny, but like it's one of those things, like you said, it really wasn't surprising though.
Yeah, right.
Like yes, it was surprising that it came out, but like once I read it.
Yeah, and she essentially told the girl like pretty much like get with the program essentially. Like when I guess the girl was trying to confide into Joy and tell her like what was going on, and Joy essentially was like, yeah, get with the program essentially. Like, and then I think what made it worse is that Joy also said in the lawsuit, allegedly, this is all alleged again for legal reasons, that Joy pretty much said if things go south with the Dixon dude who's the CEO, she's just gonna claim rape, which is crazy.
That's the thing to me. Like
that
is an ugly situation. Like I think I think the Skip Bayless situation is really, really, really bad. He's done. He's not getting back on TV after that. There's no
No, he was
way.
old anyway, so he
Yeah,
definitely wasn't getting back.
there's no way he can come back. I mean, there's really no way. I wonder if he's still doing the Skip Bayless show, like his podcast, but
I don't
there's
know.
I think that situation is done. I think Shannon Sharp kind of I think for him to because they said something about him in the lawsuit as well, like just name dropped.
Yeah,
But it was one of those things where you can kind of tell, you can kind of see now that he didn't make a joke, but he kind of sent a shot at Skip the other day on Nightcap.
you talking
And
about
it was
the my turn thing?
yeah. And it's like you can kind of see now, like, okay, Skip really burned a lot of bridges on the way, and he really
Yeah,
wasn't smart. And I mean to say you're gonna give somebody 1.5 million when you got a whole wife at home is really
yeah.
crazy. And you get on TV almost every day and kind of disrespect your wife when you say that, that she pretty much comes second and sports is first for you. Like that's kind of nasty, bro.
Listen, I literally said that on my stream last night. AB can attest to it. I literally said that exact same thing on my stream last night. If my daughter came to me and said, "Oh yeah, my husband said like I come second," I tell her file the divorce papers tonight. I don't care what the situation is. And he's disrespected her, like you said, for years.
Years.
Like he's been saying that for like 15, 20, 30
Yeah.
years.
Like
Like
that's
I
his whole
literally said,
shtick.
that's his whole thing. Like he pretty much told her when they first started dating, like, you come second, my career come
Yeah.
first. You bro, if anybody was telling my daughter that, it would be Jover. Like it wouldn't even be no questions asked. So I'm 100% with you. I literally brought that same thing up. Even AB saying, yeah, T did say that last night. I said that on my stream last night. That right there should have told me enough that this guy is, and again, it's a nasty situation at Fox, and it's just not a good situation. It's not a good look for Fox in general because it's not like one or two names being dropped. There's like five,
a
six,
lot of people
like,
over there. Your top talent, actually, pretty much everybody.
Yeah. So it's not even talking about the mid-level people that's probably sleeping their way to the top. It's just it's bad, bro. It's a bad situation over there, man.
And the thing about Fox too that I kind of want to bring up, I know Fox Sports is a little bit different from Fox, but it's still Fox.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me not one bit because this is Fox we're talking about.
It's Fox, yeah.
Like if they went over to the Fox News side of the things and probably did a little more digging and a little more research, boy, I promise you, you're gonna see probably even worse stuff. So it don't surprise me at all, to be completely honest with you. Fox Sports was always
about the Acho thing, though. The Acho thing is kind of crazy because if you look at some of his old tweets and stuff, it looks kind of like he was at her house with no shoes on and socks. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like the whole he shot her out multiple times. Like, I don't know, man. It just I don't know, bro.
You already know. I mean, like I said, I don't think he being sued or anything. Like, I don't think he did nothing. Well, to my knowledge, I haven't really did a whole lot of research on it. I don't know if he did anything wrong, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, he just slept with a coworker. I mean, people do that, but I don't know. I don't do that, but like people do that, so I don't.
But she's married though, so
she was Joy Taylor was married. I think. So they said that this is what they saying.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah.
Joy Taylor was married in the because she was living in LA and the husband was living in Miami. The husband came out to LA to visit, and he was kind of peeping the vibe that, you know what I'm saying? She probably cheating. Then he found out she was cheating and then left her in 2016. So a year later, after she got out there in 15, he divorced her in 16. So almost immediately after, he got rid of her. So if she got caught with Emmanuel Acho allegedly again. This was 2020 from what they were saying. So she was divorced by then, but she was already having the relationships allegedly with the Dixon dude back in 2015.
Man,
so I don't know. Look, she literally got right there allegedly and got to work.
Man, I don't know, bro. I
telling you what they saying.
Look, man, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, I never really fooled with Fox Sports anyway. So to me, I'm not trying to say I'm trying to prey on anybody's downfall, but like a lot of these people really ain't good people. from what we can tell, like the parasocial part about it, like a lot of these people don't seem like they good people. They have shady past. They've said shady stuff in the past. We know Skip is really shady. We
Yeah.
know, you know what I'm saying? We know Acho been saying some shady stuff. You know what I mean? Like you said, her rise to fame was already shady.
And
You
if
know what
you
I
listen
mean?
to some of her podcast clips,
It's on brand.
yeah, it's kind of like it's on
That's
brand, like you
that's
said.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So that's
Yeah.
why I was like, none of it. When I read it, I was like, you know what? I really can't be too surprised. It don't affect me at all. I didn't watch Fox Sports before. I'm not gonna watch it now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't
Only
care
time
to
I tuned in is when Undisputed used to have Shannon a little
when
bit. But
exactly when
besides that,
Uncle's
I
there.
ain't tuned in
That was
since
it.
he left.
I didn't listen to nobody else, and I didn't care to hear about nobody else.
No,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
no. Mm-mm.
I don't care. Like I don't really care to hear what none of them have to say because I really don't like any of their opinions, like ever.
Yeah, I
Like it
agree.
seemed like everybody over there has bad
Only guy
takes.
I kind of like from over there, he's all right, but sometimes he overdoes it. I don't hate Nick Wright, bro. I don't
He
hate Nick
okay.
Wright. He's okay. He
okay.
does go overboard a little bit sometimes. I don't hate Nick Wright, and I'll tell you who else I don't hate either from over there. I don't hate the white dude that be slurping Colorado. I think he went to school there. Joel Klatt.
Joel Klatt. Yeah.
I kind of like him
Yeah.
too.
He cool.
Yeah, I kind
Is
of like him.
he over there?
He at Fox, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, he
Yeah,
cool.
he had
Yeah.
Fox. And I mean, obviously, like announcers, like, what's his name?
Gus
Gus. Like, I like
Johnson.
them and stuff like that. But as far as in studio type people, only people I really like is Joel Klatt and what's his name? That's
Nick
it.
Wright. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Wright. The rest of them I could really care less about.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I'm cool with I think Chris Broussard is straight over there too. I mean, he got a couple good takes, I think. But I don't know, man. It's just I don't watch Fox.
He was at ESPN though, so I guess
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I missed he was at ESPN, so I'll give him a little bit of credit.
Because I feel like he was at least I'm not saying I agree with every single take, but he at least give you an educated response with it.
Yeah,
he just don't be yelling. You know what I'm saying?
He'll give you an educated response. That is true.
But regardless, it is what it is. I mean, look, Fox, they're shady. The whole organization is shady. Always has been, always will be. And they've always been a certain way towards black talent anyway.
Yep.
So I really ain't got no love lost for them. They going down. So it is what it is.
Yep. Well, y'all, we went an hour and 42 minutes. We told y'all it was gonna be a long, but it was a good one though. Y'all stuck in there with us. We got 117 people up in here, so y'all definitely was rocking with us. So shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all love and support. Go ahead, you know what I'm saying. Follow the YouTube page. Follow the Apple, iTunes. We're on all platforms, man. Spotify, you name it. Wherever you get your podcast, we are there. Again, thank y'all for coming out tonight. We appreciate y'all. Big shouts out to you, Cam. Great job tonight, brother. And we're gonna kick this new year off good. We're gonna kick it off hard. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. And again, man, like it's gonna be a good 2025, bro. That's really all I gotta say. Did you got anything you want to say to the people before we sign out?
Nope. Appreciate y'all for tuning in week in and week out.
Yep.
2025 gonna be a good year, man. It's gonna be a good year. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. We're gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Peace, love, and happiness. Y'all have a good week, and also as well, Happy New Year.